Welcome to another episode of Two Brothers, Same Mother. Of course, it's Sheik along with AJ. Final preseason game is done. You had work the next morning. A few other people had work the next morning. I actually stayed up to watch. I know it's just preseason. But to be up 8 with 10 seconds to go and then the ties, it is very disheartening. It's just like, yo, I don't care, man. I be watching Pee Wee. It's just like, for real.
Yeah, we had this one guy that was saying the reason. I had this guy on Facebook. He's a good guy, big Eagles fan, but he was saying, I know it's just almost started just like you. I know it's just preseason, but you know the difference between a guy that consistently makes a team. He was saying about like your smarts, right? And he was talking about like when Westbrook took the knee, like broke the run, took the knee, and then how Jaquette got the interception. Instead of just taking the knee, he scored, which allowed them to get the ball back to throw the Hail Mary.
That's not true. It was before the 2-minute warning.
But I think the Jets were out of timeouts or whatever. So if they would have got the interception, that would have been the one stoppage, but the Jets were out of timeouts. So my theory is this, whether it's true or not, if they had time, it's completely apples and oranges with that scenario because
you're not trying to make the squad, bro.
Yeah, you're not worried about the score of the game. You're trying to like the coaches. Yeah, they kind of, but they really don't care if they win or lose. It's about those players aren't trying to win the game overall. Like
they're trying to win a job.
Yes.
You know, speaking of winning a job, you know. Cuts are Tuesday, final 53 for the most part. I mean, obviously do trades or things like that, but
yeah.
We're gonna go through the 53-man roster because you know, something happened that might have essentially stolen a spot. We were initially projecting that the Eagles would hold on to 2 quarterbacks.
I told you they were going to keep 3 quarterbacks at the beginning of camp.
Yeah. Sure you saw. So Gardner Minshew being the third string quarterback.
I absolutely thought what you called was going to be the third string, and then I saw the first preseason game, and I was like, "No, I agree with you. We're staying with 2.
Remember,
we're
talking about Nick Mullins might push Joe Flacco. Like Nick Mullins apparently is going to be pushing groceries. Like he looked awful. That's the thing. Like Flacco looked bad with the twos, and then looked good in the final preseason game. Nick Mullins ain't look good all preseason
at all. He just.
But Gardner Minshew, the interesting thing too is that, and this is what I do like. You don't know what's going to happen, and you know right now. Let's call it what it is with COVID. You know, and it ain't got to be Jalen Hurts. Ain't got to do nothing wrong. He just might happen to be in contact with someone else who ends up catching it or something. The 53rd man on the roster, and they're going to make him sit out. And maybe him and Flacco got to sit out. Like it's interesting. I think it's kind of smart for a 6th-round pick to have a third-string quarterback who has started and won and is young and is cheap. You know,
absolutely.
And I think that was the idea with Mullins, but it didn't work out.
Well, Mullins still. This was his last year under his contract, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, Minshew still has a contract. His contract extends past.
Well, they didn't trade for Mullins; they picked him up. So
no. What I'm saying is that if it makes more sense with this one than it did with Mullins because if you wanted to keep Mullins an extra year as your backup, you would have had to re-sign him as you know what I mean. Where Minshew, his contract is until the end of 2022.
Now, what if they traded Minshew to the Colts just to guarantee that we get that 1st-round pick from him? Doesn't matter what Carson does. Here's Minshew.
Yeah. But I think it is smart because, like I said, Flacco's like 36, 37. And, you know, not going to have him pass this year anyway. And if you have a guy that can come in and he could be a serviceable backup, or if not, you know, it's Howie's season at the end of the year and you can get some trades. But, you know what I mean?
I mean, if all hell breaks loose, and Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, you do have someone next year. I'm not talking about this year. Let's say, and I mean, if Jalen Hurts is a total disaster, nobody thinks that, you know, or heaven forbid the guy injures himself where he would never be the same again. you do have a guy that's kind of younger, still in a rookie contract for next year. It's a little insurance.
Right.
Not the guy plays bad. I mean, basically, if he was Carson Wentz last year at the end.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. If you know he's just not the guy, you're going to move on. All right, let's go with Gardner. And you know what I mean?
I want to kind of do our projection of the 53-man roster. I think it's safe to say Hurts, Flacco, and Minshew are your first three in the quarterback room, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think they would cut them. I think the running backs are pretty safe too, right? I'm assuming you got Sanders and Scott and Jordan Howard and Kenny G, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think it gets interesting with once we get to the wide receivers. What do you have at wide receiver?
I have us keeping 5, and it's Smith, Rieger, Ward, Watkins, and Hightower.
You're saying JJ doesn't make the team.
Mm-mm.
And you're saying Fulgham doesn't make the team.
Mm-mm. Now, it's one of those things I wouldn't be surprised. You get what I'm saying? But
I think we keep 6 receivers because I think they're going to find a spot for JJ. I think
maybe
one last ditch effort, you know.
Maybe.
Tight ends. How many tight ends you got for keeping?
4. Well, okay. They were going to keep 4 anyway. But I think with Tyree Jackson getting hurt, he's initially going to make the 53, so it's going to look like we have 5, but they're going to, because he has to make the 53 in order for them to put him on IR, season-ending IR. So it's going to look like we're going to keep 5, but they're going to put him on season-ending IR, and then there's a guy later on that down this list that I think will clear waivers and we'll bring back on. So the ones I think that will be 4 that will be active for week 1 are Ertz, Goddard, Rodgers, and Stoll.
Yeah, I think Stoll gets cut. And the reason being is that Stoll played pretty poorly with the Jets game, so I think they feel they can cut him and he'll make waivers so that way they can put him on a practice squad.
Okay. So you're saying only 3 tight ends?
Only 3 tight ends.
Okay. Because I think if Jackson didn't get hurt, they would definitely keep the 4.
I agree.
And then I agree with you. I think Stoll would have got cut, but then, like you said, I believe that he would have cleared waivers and then he would have been on the practice squad too.
What do you got at offensive lineman?
All right, offensive line, I have us keeping 10.
Okay.
And the reason I'm not going to break it down to 2 tackles, because they have guys that play so many different positions. So I got Mayalata, Sayamalu, Travis Kelce, Brooks, Johnson.
Wow, really?
What?
Travis Kelce playing our offensive line now?
Jesus Christ, Jason Kelce.
When did that trade happen?
Right. Jason Kelce, Brooks, Johnson, Dillard, Dickerson, Herbig, Driscoll, and LaRaven Clark.
Well, Dickerson's probably going to start on IR, so that opens up the spot.
No. Well, that means he would have to – he's going to be on PUP, not IR.
PUP, yeah. But that's – if you put him on PUP, he still doesn't hold up a roster spot for the time being.
Right.
So you really have them keeping 9 offensive linemen in with Dickerson week 1.
Well, they're saying Dickerson might be ready before – I don't think they're going to put him on PUP.
I think we're keeping 10. And then I think Dickerson is going to be on PUP, so 11 total.
Okay.
Now, the 10 I have, the starting 5 is the same. I have Dillard, Driscoll, Herbig, Toth, and Opta.
Pita?
Pita, I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think he's going to be in that. He is horrible.
But, unfortunately, he's your best backup center.
Who, Pita? He didn't even play center.
Yeah, he did.
Herbig played center. Herbig played backup center.
Herbig played center and looked horrible.
Pita played guard and looked horrible. He didn't even play no center during preseason, I don't think.
He played a little bit of center. I personally think Opita is going to have a chance to just in practice or whatever, and he might just be around till Dickerson comes back. It's just, hey, we need somebody who plays center.
That could be it.
Center. And I'm not saying he's going to be on there by week 4, but I really think he's just the guy. We need somebody as an emergency center. Of all the people, Kelsey's the guy that's least likely to get hurt on this offensive line.
Right.
We need somebody who could play center. That's the primary position. We don't have to switch anybody around.
Well, I'll say Herbig didn't play bad against the Jets at center.
Listen, as you said, how tall is Joe Flacco?
I get it. And that was a bad snap against that game.
I mean,
that was horrible.
You don't want to cut Dillard. If you don't want to cut Dillard, you need someone that you can rely on to play center. And I don't think Herbig did enough.
Okay.
And that's the thing. It's not saying
I watched Opita, and he was probably the worst lineman I played this whole preseason. I'm not gonna lie. That kid was getting blown up almost every play.
Yet we still don't have a better backup center, unfortunately. I mean, we do, but he's Dickerson.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Dickerson's going to be because I think there's been reports that he may be ready by like week 2 or 3. That's why I don't think they're going to put him on the PUP.
I mean, we'll see. If he doesn't, then yeah, I agree. Dickerson's there.
Yeah,
he is gone.
There's another. It's like if I were to go the route you're going, like if they did put him on PUP, I still wouldn't have Opita. I would have that kid Owenjue or Owikie or whatever his name is.
Your defensive ends, man.
Well, I just have D-line once again because of how the different fronts they're going to show. So I have us keeping. Hold on. 9. So Graham, Cox, Hargraves, Barnett, Sweat. Then Milton Williams, Hassan Ridgeway, Kerrigan, and Patrick Johnson. Patrick Johnson I think he's going to actually beat out Jannard Avery, even though Jannard Avery and Patrick Johnson are, and it's weird, they're listed as linebackers, but they're going to be edge rushers the same way they're going to be using Kerrigan. But they have Kerrigan listed as a D end. It's weird. So one of those guys are going to be playing the opposite side when they go to that odd front, when they have the stand-up ends. And it came down to Patrick Johnson and Avery. Avery has been with us a long time. Patrick Johnson, even though he was a 6th-round pick, the upside for him is a lot higher than it would be Avery. So
I actually have us holding on surprisingly to 11 defensive linemen. Here's why. If you get rid of T.Y. McGill or Ridgeway, neither one of them are going to go to practice squad. They're going to get scooped up. And I think they're still going to do a lot of rotation on the defensive line. So Cox and Hargrave, Williams, McGill, Tupiotu we drafted, and he had played well too. And Ridgeway.
You talking about USC Tupiotu?
Yeah.
He has played horrible.
What do you mean?
He is trash. He sucks.
I don't know what game you're watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
Couple drives against the Patriots, he looked bad, but he looked great against the Jets, and he looked great in the first game. He didn't look nearly as good as Milton Williams.
No.
But he ate up space. He did what he's supposed to do.
No. He was horrible against the run, and he's already.
They ran away from him the whole time.
He's trash. As of right now, he sucks.
Okay. All right. Talk to me when he makes the Pro Bowl.
If he makes the Pro Bowl, I swear to God. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm not. Listen, let me rephrase. He's not trash. He just did not impress me enough that I thought.
No, he wasn't.
I thought he would have been better. I thought he would have been a little better, especially against the Rams.
I didn't think so. I thought he's just a guy that eats up space right now. He doesn't. He's not. Milton Williams is the guy that I was hoping would impress me, and he did. This guy literally is just there to eat up space right now. And that's all he did at USC, and people just ran into him. He doesn't have quick feet, and that's the big problem. Especially in the NFL, if you're on a defensive line, you got to be able to move your feet, and he's not really moving his feet.
Well, I hear he can't move his feet because he's not strong enough. That's the downside. That's what's been coming out of camp, is that he's just not strong enough at this level to move the pocket.
You could build strength.
My thing is, you got drafted. because you were big and strong. And you get drafted and you're not strong enough.
Well, that's a Howie conversation.
I mean, he's stronger than Howie, I'm pretty sure.
I will say, Teron Jackson did enough to stay on the team. So, so if someone was
I think it was a numbers game. And that's why I think Teron Jackson, once again, I think he makes waivers, is on the practice squad. But I just think with Cox and Hargraves and Williams and Ridgeway, I don't see them keeping 5 D tackles.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe they decide to cut USC Boyd and put him on practice squad.
Maybe.
Or maybe he gets a mysterious injury.
Mysterious injuries.
It's very clear. Listen, Milton Williams, as of right now, is your 3rd defensive tackle, right?
Absolutely.
McGill, McGriddle,
McGriddle, Sausage McGriddle.
McGill and Ridgeway, although Ridgeway didn't have a great camp, he had an all right camp. McGill did have a pretty decent camp to where he jumped Ridgeway.
You think he jumped Ridgeway?
Oh, yeah.
Do you? Now, here's the thing.
I'm a big Ridgeway guy.
And here's the thing. Even though I had Ridgeway over McGill, it's one of those things over McGriddle. so over TY. But it was one of those things where it was just like it could go either way. And it was kind of like rock, paper, scissors between the two names of who I thought would make the 53. So where are we at linebacker wise?
At linebacker.
1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5. I have Wilson, Singleton, Edwards, Jacoby Stevens, and Taylor. Now, if they still need some more test results to come back from Taylor, so it may be one of those things like the PUP list. If that's the case, then I say Bradley makes it.
What I have is Wilson, Singleton, Stevens, and Avery. The only reason why I have Avery over TJ Edwards is because they have a specific spot for Avery and Patrick Johnson that they want to use, it seems like. And I think Johnson makes the practice squad, and I think Avery's going to be there. And then they have a decision to make when Taylor comes off of whatever injury he's at. TJ Edwards should be on the team. I just think that they're not going to get rid of Stevens, and I think that they have a specific spot for Avery.
They do. And that's why I think Patrick Johnson and Avery were battling for the same spot.
Okay.
That's why, even though they're listed as linebackers, they have, like you said, they have one job. Same thing as Kerrigan.
All right. What do you have a corner?
Slay, Nelson, Maddox, McPherson, and Craig James.
Craig James, huh?
Mm-hmm. I think he makes it over. It was another rock, paper, scissors over Jaquette. But I just think Jaquette's too slow. He's a kid to me, almost like I feel like a Rasul Douglas. Like he's really good against the run. If he put 10 pounds, convert him to safety.
I don't see Jaquette making the squad. This is kind of like my biggest surprise here, honestly. And I don't know. I feel like they know what they get out of Craig James. And I think that there's always that one that's like, I didn't expect them to do that. And I think that kid Seymour makes the squad. That's the 5th corner.
Yeah, I can see
Here's
that.
the thing. Like, Josiah Scott did a lot too, but Josiah Scott can pretty much only play nickel. And Avonte Maddox is your nickel guy. And Zach McPherson is you can't have 3 nickels. You know what I mean? I think if Jaquette would have played better on the outside, he made the squad. The problem is Jaquette plays decent at nickel. They have a bunch of guys that can play well in nickel. They needed somebody who rose up to the challenge on the outside.
I'll tell you what, McPherson, he is an actual nickel, but he's not terrible on the outside. If you have to depend on him for a bunch of games, you're in trouble. But
that's the thing. I think that's the thing. I mean, it was just one of those things where, and I wouldn't be surprised if Craig James was there over Seymour.
Mm-hmm.
Just Seymour seemed like he's one of those few guys, man, middle of 4th quarter, all these games he was into it. He got a pick. Mm-hmm. He's just doing his thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Safety, what do you have?
McLeod, Harris, Wallace, Epps, and Adams.
So I got a question because it's weird. Like, I saw a lot out of Elijah Riley.
Yeah.
And I would love for him to make this team, but I don't have him make this squad because I can't see the guy that he would have to replace would be Epps, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess technically
if it was Adams.
Or Adams, but you're not going – Adams is better suited to start in place of McLeod than Riley would be.
Oh, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. If McLeod's in a situation where he has to appear on the PUP list, then you could see Elijah Riley. And then we go into week 1 with Harris and Wallace and Epps as our 3 starting safeties. But Elijah Riley, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just basing it on I'm kind of almost taking major injuries out. Like, you get what I'm saying? Other than the Tyree Jackson thing. But and Adams was the kid that I said later on I would say if Tyree Jackson wouldn't have made it, like I said, if he wouldn't have got hurt, Stahl would have been the one that was cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and your special teamers, no surprise, Sipsis or whatever that punter's name is, he actually had really good. He's been really good as a punter. Jake Elliott and Lovato. I mean, those are the only guys. Yeah, they're only guys there. So, I think the biggest thing is going to be a wide receiver. Maybe what they do defensive line. Maybe what they do with linebacker. I would love to see Sean Bradley make the team, but I'm with you. I just don't see it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would really like. It was just because Taylor is more suited for that for that 2-man. You know what I mean? Linebacker with the 5-2. You know what I'm saying? Or 4-2-5 secondary. You know what I mean? So, he's just more suitable for that. And that's why TJ Edwards had lost a lot of weight and he actually looked good. That's why I think he makes it. And he's also still can help out because there's going to be times eventually where they're going to have to go with a traditional 3 linebackers, like in a heavy set or something like that. And I think that's how he helps. But I agree with you. I could see JJ making this squad. Like if they decide to keep 6 receivers, if they had 7 receivers, I actually put 7 receivers. Fulgham was 7th. Right. Just how he felt how deep he fell. I think if they did keep 6, JJ would be the 6th one. And just because, and I don't think it's because of a draft pick thing. It was because he actually did well on special teams.
Yeah, the fact that he was willing to play special teams really raised his value. Yeah. So let me ask you something, man. Just with all that being said, what's your feelings about week 1 against the Falcons, who, by the way, I did not realize didn't play hardly any of their starters all the preseason?
A lot of teams didn't. Like, there was a couple teams that did, but a lot of teams didn't. I mean, Andy
was like, nah.
It was 1999, bro.
Mahomes was going out there for 3 quarters. He figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, still feel the same. I think it's going to be a close game, but we can only go by what we're told in camp, right? Like, and if this defensive line and this offensive line is as dominant as we've been told that they are, like how they have been in the joint practices, I think I think we'll definitely beat. And we'll go into, like, I guess, oh shit, next Sunday is week 1, isn't it?
No. Week 1's 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. So next Sunday, I guess we'll do our schedule of wins and losses. But
right.
But the way I feel right now, I doubt it's going to change. God forbid, unless this injury happens. God forbid from now.
I mean, I would be very surprised, assuming that if the Eagles are healthy, if they started 0-2.
Oof. Yeah.
I think they beat at least Atlanta or San Fran, and I wouldn't be surprised if they started 2-0.
I wouldn't be. You said it 1,000 times. I've been saying it. It has that 2016 vibe in it where, I won't get as excited as I did in 2016 when we were like 4-0 and we like destroyed Pittsburgh and all this other stuff. I think it's going to have that vibe to it. I'm just going to have to keep it on post, and I think it's going to there's going to be excitement, but still, I still see this as a 7, maybe 8 games win team.
Right. Well, let's go to the 5-pack of questions.
All right.
We'll do college edition because this past weekend was the unofficial kickoff of college football. We had a few games. Nebraska lost to Illinois. It's the first time they've lost to Illinois in back-to-back years since 1922. So it's been almost 100 years. I don't know what happened to Nebraska football. It's like trying to explain to somebody that Nebraska used to be a power. Like at least Miami's trying to build themselves back up. They're a top 25 team again. Nebraska, bro, hasn't been good for a long time.
Yeah, but until they bring back the wing T, they're not going to be good.
The Fumble-Rooski.
Yeah.
I know you don't get a chance to watch a lot of college football, but you are a football person, so you pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick a favorite college football team currently, who would it be?
Like my personal favorite, or like a favorite to be a national champion?
No, your personal favorite, not the favorite to win it.
They're gonna have to ride out. Even though I have Temple tatted on my arm, still gonna have to ride out. I might have to stay with the Nittany Lions.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong. Listen, I mean, I went to Temple, obviously, so.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, I mean, I rooted for Clemson for a long time because Dolph went there. So way before the championships, back when the Taj Boyd days where you couldn't figure out they had all this talent and why they couldn't get over the hump, when they were
right.
So, I still ride with Clemson. Is there any college football team that, because in your case, this is actually real, you might only get a chance to watch a couple college football games all year. Is there any team that to you would be must-see TV?
Just because I watched that QB1 show the last season, I didn't watch the first two. I want to keep a real close eye on Oklahoma.
That's right.
Because of that quarterback.
Spencer Rattler. Yeah.
Rattler, yeah.
I do want to, and I just want to go time the game. Week 1, Alabama against Miami. I would love for it just to be a really good game. I'm not saying Miami has to win, but if it goes down to the wire, it'd be nice to see Miami like back in that way, even if they lost, but they kept it close.
Yeah,
that'd be dope.
So if they only lost by 24, it's a close game.
Your favorite college football coach of all time?
You give me yours because I really haven't really thought about it.
See, it's rough for me because, growing up where we grew up initially, it would have been Joe Pa. We can't really go with that now with everything that happened, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's why I kind of was like.
I am very partial to Dabo Swinney just because of how passionate he is. But if I had to choose one, I know he's in the pros now, but I really like what Urban Meyer did, man. Wherever he's been. What he did at Utah, what he did at Florida, what he did with Ohio State.
Probably going to have to. When I was younger, I said, really like coach.
Go ahead, say it. Let everybody roast you.
He tarnished it. I was going to say the initials are JJ. So,
how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Future NFL Hall of Famer. How he's not in the Hall of Fame, I don't know. After all these
JJ?
Years. Yeah.
He's in there.
I don't think he is.
He just got inducted like either last year.
Or he just got inducted. Yeah. Maybe he just got
it was like last year or the year before.
There's no reason.
Yeah, because they inducted it and they were talking about it. Troy Aikman was in the booth when they
yeah, he didn't just get inducted. Why did he do that? That's stupid.
Huh?
That's stupid.
I don't know.
Come on, man. I'm an Eagles fan. I can see that guy's a Hall of Famer. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Your favorite college football player of all time. So not anything they did in the pros, just what they did in college. You watched them in college and you fully enjoyed them just for their college career.
Man, I have a couple. Because it was when I was younger, my boy was the Rocket for Notre Dame. Rocket Ishmael. Oh my God. When I was a teenager, that was my mindset Notre Dame.
See, I gotta go with two. And they're kind of corny because they're obvious, but it's true. Like, bro, I was in college when this man was in college too, and he was must-see TV. Whenever USC played, you got to watch Reggie Bush. That was the night game, the late night game. Before that, you had to watch what Tim Tebow was doing.
If I had to pick one that I really, really, really enjoyed his game and I was wrong about, so I didn't know he was a head case, I'd probably say VY.
Vince Young was dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
He had me like this. I never really even liked Texas.
I will say just some local love. Matakevich, who was a linebacker for somebody else still in the NFL. But watching him for Temple and him being the heart and soul of that team that was nationally ranked, that dude, just the way he played D and flew around everywhere. And, you knew he was undersized for the pros. But it was just, you just appreciated it for what it was.
Another person that was probably one of my favorites, and he tarnished it in college, was that, and he tarnishes it every week. He talks about the Cowboys on NFL Network, was 047 in University of Miami.
I'm surprised you didn't go with you. I know you were younger, but like I would have thought that maybe you would have went with some of you University of Miami people. I don't know if it was too young for you when Jerome Brown was there.
That was when I kind of started. That's when I started like I was like, yo, they brash. Like it was weird because that whole around that same time, like me being 8 years old was kind of like the turn up because that's around, and I know it sounds funny, that's the same amount of time. I guess I was about 8. Same time around, like I started liking the Bad Boys, like I started liking the Hurricanes. I started liking I became a big Roddy Piper fan, started liking all the heels of wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was around that time, 85, 86.
I will say one guy that I really like. I was partial, just like your son, I was partial to Miami because how much you rooted for him, you know, because Miami being real, that was before my time. You know, I was early 90s. So when Miami did have that brief young run with Larry Coker, and their running back, I was a big fan of Willis McGahee.
Yeah.
You know, and tore his knee up during the national championship game, I believe. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was McGahee. Frank Gore.
Yeah. Yeah, McGahee was
McGahee was University of Miami too. But
Portis was a monster.
Yeah, all those running backs out of Miami during the 2000s were dope. Like, and then finally, a player with a great college career that you wish the Eagles didn't pass on, not named one set.
Oh, pass on.
Yeah, so the Eagles passed on them, and this is my only caveat. Like, take into effect who they drafted to. So, like, you can't say, "Oh, I wish they wanted to pass on someone," but like their draft pick worked out for them. I mean, I guess you could, but you have to kind of make that argument. So, obviously, we all wish they would have drafted Warren Sapp over Mike Woodward. You know what I mean? But a guy with an amazing college career, a decorated college career that you were just like, I can't believe the Eagles passed on him. If you could reverse time, the Eagles would draft him.
Randy Moss.
See, I knew you were going to go there. I don't think I could say that. Trey Thomas worked out really well. And I don't know if Randy Moss has the same type of career without. I mean, Trey Thomas is going into the Ring of Honor. I understand Randy Moss is an all-time great, but Trey Thomas is an all-time Eagle. Who you gonna have playing left tackle? We're not gonna be able to get the ball to Randy.
Was Trey? I thought Trey was in the same year with was Ray Lewis the same year as
No, I think Ray Lewis was the year before. Trey Thomas was the same year as Randy Moss.
I thought we drafted Trey over Ray Lewis, and that's why I was never mad over.
That was the 1998 draft. So let's see. Let's just look it up.
Because I could have sworn we drafted Chris T. Jones over Randy Moss.
No. So I'm looking. We drafted Trey Thomas. Then Randy Moss went 21st. We drafted Trey Thomas 11th. I mean, and to give you an idea, Keith Brookings, K.O. Spikes, like Tennessee drafted Kevin Dyson over Randy Moss. That's an obvious. You should have drafted Randy Moss. But
I love Trey Thomas. I still would have taken Trey. At hindsight, looking back, yeah, I definitely still would have took Randy Moss.
But would we have gotten Randy for the Vikings and Randy for the Patriots, or Randy for the Raiders?
We're not talking about that. We're talking about what they did. If you just compare careers, you know what I mean? We definitely wouldn't have got Randy for the Raiders because Randy for the Raiders got traded there and didn't want to be there. We're talking young Randy Moss that came into the league and was lighting everybody up. I still would have took Randy Moss over Trey Thomas. I love Trey Thomas, all-time Eagle, but I would take an all-time NFL great over an all-time Eagle.
Well, I would say who's probably going to be at least in a reign of honor for the team. It looks like, even though he's pretty young, might be a Hall of Famer over, I guess, the new special team captain for the Eagles, DK Metcalf over JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Already, to me, that's the new Warren Sapp.
There's no argument in me. I mean, you could go boo. Right. Oh, you want to? Randy
Moss is a NFL Hall of Famer.
He was at Marshall and was in the final three of the Heisman voting. For Marshall.
Marshall's a good school. They had Chad Pennington. He was lighting it up.
You know what I mean? Oh, speaking of favorite college players.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm not even a Michigan fan. But my boy
Woodson.
I used to really like Woodson.
So I'm just happen to be looking here. And we drafted Jermaine Mayberry over Ray Lewis.
That's who it was. I knew we drafted a lineman over.
Yes. We drafted Jermaine Mayberry over Ray Lewis. And he was okay, but I would have preferred Ray Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know there's some other people like Detroit who drafted Reggie Brown over Ray Lewis, who's another linebacker. Not sure how that worked out. But
only Reggie Brown I know is
for the Eagles wide receiver, and I would take Ray Lewis over him too at wide receiver. Yeah. You know who I really liked too? Like when I was just starting to get into college football, speaking of Michigan, was Desmond Howard.
I was getting ready to say that. I like Desmond Howard too. I remember playing for Tabor, and that was a thing.
Right.
Because of Desmond Howard. You get in trouble for it, but you would go like that.
But
we were a little ridiculous with it. We were getting first downs and going.
You weren't getting 1 yard and doing the little giants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will say the one guy that I knew was good in college, but knew he wouldn't make the pros, even though I was young, was watching Tommy Frazier with Nebraska. Speaking of Nebraska,
if he wouldn't have had I was a liver or kidney issue.
It was kidney issues, yeah.
Yeah, kidney. I think he would have been really good in the pros. I think he would have been good in the pros, but that's a shame, man, because he was nice with it. Tommy Frazier was nice with it.
It's funny. I didn't really get a chance to watch him that much in college just because he played on the West Coast. The way that I knew about it, of all things, and kind of how I guess we got to know rosters, in the early 90s was through video games, playing Bill Walsh college football. It was Cordell Stewart.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Colorado. I remember I never really even heard of this when I was in high school. I never really even heard of like San Diego State until Marshall Faulk.
Right.
Same thing with TCU. I really never
until LT.
Until LT. Yeah. So it's just crazy how like, oh, where's this?
Like San Diego ain't a state. What the hell is this?
San Diego State. What?
That's where I learned a lot of colleges, like just from like more so college basketball. Like, what the hell is Weber State?
Yeah.
I don't know where Weber's at.
Weber? What? So yeah, absolutely.
But that's my 5-pack. You know, the full slate of college games starts this weekend. You know, if you do get a chance, might be home from work. I think it's the late game. I would suggest, even if you just peek in for about 15, 20 minutes when you get home, the Alabama-Miami game. Because I know it's been a while since you watched the Miami game, and Alabama's always good.
Yeah, Alabama's always good. Always.
You know, now you might peek in real quick, and Miami might be down 31-3.
Now, are they still doing the Thursday night?
Yes. So, speaking of Thursday night, Temple plays Thursday night. So they play Rutgers, I think.
Okay.
Now, here's the interesting thing. Our senior quarterback transferred. I forget where he went, but we picked up a quarterback from Georgia. So our quarterback that we got actually supposed to be better than our senior that we had. But Temple is still, and like Rutgers ain't a good squad, but Greg Schiano went back there last year. This is the second year. They expected a big jump. So I think Temple has a fighting chance, but like Temple's already like 9.5 point underdogs. So we'll see. But it is, you know, Thursday nights are always wacky.
Right.
So, but I'm going to definitely look forward to watching Temple. And, you know, I'm going to try my best to, you know, Saturday, at least during the day, clear out my schedule to watch some college football. For anybody that doesn't know, Saturday evening, I actually do commentary for a independent pro wrestling group, ACPW. We're doing our first show in Media, PA at the Media Community Center. So I'm actually going to be doing live broadcasting there. And we're going to have a live show. If you happen to be in the area, come check it out. It's going to be a big show. So we got about 9 matches. So cool. We're doing that thing. I know you're going to be doing your working thing, but Sundays, man, Sundays are literally for the birds. And can't wait for the season to start.
Well, Friday nights are my last year of Friday Night Lights. So
yeah, right. Friday nights are for the Elks.
Yeah, and preseason polls came out for the 2A, high school 2A, and Elkton is ranked 5th out of 46 2A schools in Maryland. So
they just need to stop doing the Andy Reid thing, man. Like,
oh my God,
like, come on, cut it out.
Yeah, and if you guys are unsure, the Andy Reid thing, I think the last 6 years, Elkton has been in the state semifinals 4 times, and actually have made it to 1 state championship game, and then have been to state semifinals. I'm sorry, 5 times in 7 years. It's been to 1, and then they made it to a regionals, and then they've made it to a regional semis twice. So, yeah. And 0 state championships. I mean, they have one from 2000, but we're talking last 7 years. So,
I mean, the Eagles had one from 60, but you know.
Right. So we're definitely they begin Friday night on the road. So,
by the way, I'm just curious now, just looking at some of the draft picks. Eagles drafted in the 2nd round tight end Jason Dunn in 96. And they had a comp pick in the 2nd round, last pick in the 2nd round, that they used on this little known guy named Brian Dawkins. But Jason Dunn was way better coming out of college than him. And by the way, that was the draft that they passed up on Terrell Owens. So, yeah, Terrell Owens went to 3rd.
Who's still trying to get signed by a team. Could you imagine that?
You know what, Philly? Do it. Sign Terrell Owens and have Gardner Minshew pass to him. Too much sauce for the field.
Too much.
They would never snap the ball. It would just be chain for chain.
Yeah, that's just funny. That's just
look.
Here's the crazy thing about that trade. They bought him. They bought him in, and it could be a 5th round pick, but Gardner Minshew has to play 3 games.
Right.
So that means Joe Flacco and Jalen Hurts both got to get hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, listen, it's great that you can have that luxury. That's pretty awesome. Because I will say this. I don't know about Mullins winning a game for you. I do know Minshew could win a game for you, even the offensive line's kind of shitty.
Yeah. I will say this, and this goes back to what I was pounding on your bar last year, right? Was this offensive line last year was just really, 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 really weird. Like, people are like, oh, y'all ain't got no depth. What do you mean? That kid Jamal Brown was like the 5th time player playing that guard position. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody has 5 right guards on their team. Like, you know what I mean? We're deep where we need to be as far as offensive and defensive lines. I think I would like to maybe have a little bit more, maybe one more defensive tackle that I would feel secure in. But yeah, because Ridgeway and McGill, if they keep either one, both of them had their injury issues. So we shall see. So,
by the way, I do think that this year we might bring back, just for our gambling friends, our little gambling segment. Just add some extra stuff so you can tell me why I'm wrong, or give gambling advice that's right that you won't bet on.
Right.
You were pretty decent last year when we were doing it.
Yeah, actually, you won some money.
Yeah, with the Pittsburgh game, I remember. Pittsburgh, Baltimore. Hey, if that's one thing you knew Baltimore football, man.
Look, I'm surrounded by it. I'm surrounded by it. You know what I mean? It's not like 1 or 2 people. It's literally like a couple hundred people. Baltimore, Ravens. Oh, by the way, the Ravens. But
they don't talk about their basketball team. Not about their hockey team.
I hit them with that all the time.
What about their baseball team that's lost 21 straight?
No, they don't talk about the Warriors.
One of the few teams that's worse than the Phillies right now.
Right. I'm glad we're going to be doing the betting thing. I would like to, maybe when we record post, I don't know, maybe how we did Friday night. So give a little love to the Elks. No, a little love to the Elks.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to bet on the Elks? Good God, easy.
I heard their left tackle sucks.
He just eats a whole bunch of food in your house, huh?
Yeah, he just eats up all the ice cream. Drinks up all the juice. All the juice. I like ice cream. I like Minute Maid juice.
On that note, I will talk to y'all later, man. Any final words for the people?
Nah, just stay safe. Football season here. Don't get too lit up, and don't do anything stupid, and enjoy it, man. Because it was taken away from us last year. Just enjoy it.
One more quick thing I'll add in there.
All right, what's up?
So I held off buying a Carson Wentz jersey until last offseason, and then we saw what happened. Not saying one's related to the other. Obviously, that's stupid. But it stopped me from buying a Jalen Hurts jersey.
Yeah, I ain't buying no Hurts jersey until after the season.
So it's not stupid to not buy a Hurts jersey because I bought a Wentz jersey and his career went down the toilet.
Well, I bought a Wentz jersey his rookie year, but you knew when you spent a number 2 draft pick, he was going to be the franchise. But it's just, yeah, I think they were on NFL.com like last week for I think $20.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
I was somewhere where they had a $10 Carson Wentz fire sale.
Mm.
Now, the reason why they called it a fire sale was you could buy it for $10,
Set on fire.
or buy it for $10 and throw it into a bonfire.
Jesus.
So shout out to Cowtown.
Right.
But all right, y'all, I will holler at you later. Stay safe, and let's get geared up for the season, man. We'll give our prediction for the entire regular season next week. Assuming that, fingers crossed, everybody stays healthy.
Right.
All right, yo. Peace.
Peace.